Right. All right. Okay, Rufai, Dr. Bati, your take on these stories this morning. Of course, the protests, it's a season of protests, it seems, in Nigeria, not just in Lagos State, but the big conversation is the authorities' response to protests and protesters. Case in point, the report you've just seen. And of course, beyond that, we look at the Kokansia movement. Dr. Rabiu Kwankwaso is still speaking about the betrayal is felt by the move of the governor of Kano State. Beyond that, the Electoral Act review of 2022 conversations amidst other stories. Your take on them this morning?
Okay. I'm never going to be tired of quoting Philip Drucker about culture eating strategy for breakfast. If you take protest scenes from the Ali Must Go riots well over 40 years ago, the way the government handled it then will not be different from the way they handle this. So the thing is, it's a cultural problem, and I'm sure in fact it's gone worse. Yes, the police chief was bragging about the fact that he didn't shoot any bullets and everything, and we thank God. And doctor, that was why I was saying that I commend Wiki, that things could have gone south. Teargas could have been shot in Abuja. Because I'm saying that because I know the operational procedure of the Nigerian police. They will never get protest management right, except in few cases where beforehand, we have also seen them talk to protesters, even give protesters food, which we commend them from. But when things get like this, they will always resort to shooting tear gas. Is that the only way? There are many other probable ways we can look at it. Could they have shields to push back protesters? Wear police horses to charge into the crowds, to manage crowd? Water cannons? But tear gas is always the quick way to go. And that's the sad reality of our society. Because the earlier we do it, the better it is for it. So, you see, it goes back to the NSAS protest when people were shouting police reforms and everything. And the police didn't get the memo that the protesters were protesting for them. But what happened? We saw killings. So it's a cultural thing. Nigeria as a state has adopted aberration in every facet of human life as normality. So a country that has adopted aberration as normality, before you know it, it becomes like a country that has lost virtue and has upheld privileges. So privileges will always rule over virtue. And that's why the police chief is saying there that it is a privilege that in this case, we didn't even shoot live rounds. It was only tear gas we shot. He forgets that as little as tear gas is, in his own estimation, tear gas is carcinogenic in nature. He doesn't even, in talking about managing the crowd and talking about the tear gas, he forgets that the after effect of the tear gas canister has been shot on the health of the people, that it might be carcinogenic many years down the line. He forgets all of that. So he says, let us even thank him because they didn't fire live rounds this time. Because if it was higher than this, they will fire live rounds and nothing will happen. And why I was saying that, Dr. Abati, is the fact that when you look at it, no panel of inquiry will be set into evaluation of this protest that could they have done something better to manage it? Because you see, everybody moves on so quickly in this country. Secondly, as regards Mr. Zacchaeus, the NRS boss, yes, he said a lot of things. We are not here to tax the poor. We are not here to go after bank balances. We are not here to go after, people's livelihood. We just want the poor to be better and all of that. We can't even tax the informal sector because you have to register them. He said a lot of things. But I disagree with him on some things. Does the NRS boss knows that the informal sector is one of the most taxed sector already in this country through informal taxes? Does the NRS know that the taxes that are being collected by public bus drivers from terminal to terminal, most of those money are not even remitted back to the government? One of the head of the bus unions did come out to boldly brag that he spent over 700 million for President Tinubu's campaign. The question we would have asked if we were serious as a nation was, how did that bus terminal chief acquire such wealth that he can spend over 700 million? I know the quick argument people will say in Nigeria is that it's his money, he can spend it the way he wants. But somebody that can have that excess income to spend that amount, one will have wanted to know one step further. What are even the ways at which he make this money? Then what about the illegal taxes being collected in the marketplaces from people? What about the illegal taxes collected in various illegal sectors? So the question we'll ask the NRS bosses, how do we understand how to even effectively talk to the informal sector that the hitherto taxes they are collecting, that these informal elements collect through force, can they give some of it to the government? The second argument I would like to put forward to the NRS bosses, he talked about trust, which is good. But how do we trust the system in a country where some lawmakers in a state, they buy properties for them in the state and in Abuja with taxpayers' money? And you want people to trust the system. The other point, I agree with him, tax is mandatory. People must pay their tax. They must do everything. It's their responsibility. All good words. He doesn't have intention to tax the poor. All good words. But I've just raised some very interesting points.